Okay, so we are online. Hello, everybody. It's the 20th of October, and we are 10 days away from the Global Vegan Business Expo. That's on the 30th of October, the 31st, and the 1st of November. That's World Vegan Day. Today, we have here Dr. Rupa Shah, who's the founder of Global Vegan Business Expo, and she has brought two guest speakers here. The first is Purva Joshipura, who's the Vice President of International Relations at PETA. Hi, Purva. Glad to
Hi. Oh, thanks for having me. Nice to be here.
Yes, good to have you tuning in from London.
Yes.
We also have Madhusudan Rajagopalan, who's a participant as an exhibitor, who's a founder of Somarka, which is a very special kind of a water treatment. Hi, Madhusudan.
Hi, Nandita. Hi, Dr. Rupa Shah.
Hello, Purva. Hello, Madhusudan.
Hello. Nice to be here with all of you.
Yes, cool. So let's begin to know a little bit about the both of you. Purva, let's start with you. Tell me about your vegan journey. And
yep.
I know that you were a member of the PETA family since you were 16. So you.
Yes.
Yes. So from 16 to today, your journey.
Oh, sure. Well, I grew up eating meat. I grew up in the United States, as you can tell from my accent. And back then, the culture of the place was that some animals are food and some animals are friends. And even though I very much loved animals, I loved the dogs and cats I would come across in my neighborhood and so on, I didn't make the connection that the animals that I was eating want to live just as much as the animals that I consider friends. And it was when a friend of mine questioned me that I started thinking. We had gone to the mall together, and then we went to the food court, and I went to McDonald's, and she went to somewhere else, and we joined back at the table, and she said, "Are you really going to eat that?" And I said, "Yeah, it was a chicken burger." And that moment I thought, you know what? This is a mismatch. I cannot love animals in one way and then support their violence in another way. And it's through that enlightenment that I started looking up organizations like PETA, started getting their materials. I became vegetarian. Soon after, I realized that there's so much violence in the dairy industry and the egg industry too. That, for example, what happens to the male animals in those industries, because they cannot lay eggs or cannot produce milk, they're often killed. And so I could not support that either. And I became vegan. And what's really interesting is that after I went vegan, all my life up until that point, I would have these terrible stomach issues. And because it happened so often, I just thought that's how it was. I didn't connect that it was because of the milk that I was having, and I was probably lactose intolerant, like most Indian people are, that I was having this trouble. The minute I went vegan, not only was I doing something wonderful for animals, I was doing something excellent for my health too. So that's how it came to be. And I got more and more involved. I was a volunteer for PETA, then I was an intern. And then I started working for them, and I've done all sorts of jobs, ranging from, I was the CEO of PETA India, and now, as you said, I'm the Senior Vice President of International Affairs for PETA Foundation in the UK. But I've done lots and lots of other things along the way on that journey to advance animal rights.
Awesome. Wow. That's a very intensive journey. So coming to you, Madhusudan, tell us about your vegan journey.
Well, I grew up a vegetarian. So the transition for me, in some senses, I think from vegetarian to vegan, sometimes I think is a bit harder than for people who moved from, I have many friends who moved from being meat eaters to becoming vegan. So I've been a vegetarian, and I think the the journey from that to vegan was largely driven by some of my spiritual leanings. And I follow a spiritual master whose name is Mohanji, and one of his core principles is uh, non-violence. So when you start trying to pursue a lifestyle which doesn't have any violence in it, food becomes an essential element of that whole lifestyle. So in trying to move to a non-violent lifestyle, I started transitioning to a vegan. So I wouldn't say still 100% vegan. I think there are the odd family occasions and so on where there is dairy products, but other than that, by choice, I'm vegan. So that's how it's been, and it's been a recent transition, maybe about two and a half years.
Okay. So how did you found, Madhusudan, how did you found Somarka? What is the highlight?
Okay, so Somarka is the brand name. The company's name is Water and Light Applications. So this is actually a company that is headquartered in Netherlands. The two Dutch scientists created a method of treating water. Water is, of course, we call it the elixir of life, right? It is the most, we can live without food. We can't live without water. Water is probably the only element that has this property that it can actually absorb energy and it can also transmit energy, which is why every tradition in the world, whichever religion you take, water is an essential component of any ritual. That's because water has the property, it has a memory, it absorbs vibration from nature, from human beings, from anything that is electromagnetic radiation, it absorbs everything. So water in its most natural state, which is how it is, let's say, high up in the mountains, where it's only interacting with nature, it has a certain property, and that is constantly in communication with nature. By the time it comes to our tap or to our bottle, it's lost most of it because of chemical treatment, because of various stimuli. It's exposed to plastic, it's exposed to our own human emotions. All of that has an impact on water. And it has no ability left in it to actually communicate and hold energy. Now, our bodies, we study in school that 70% is water. Actually, at a molecular level, we are 99% water. 99% of the molecules in our body are water-based molecules. So water is what holds everything together and what holds energy together. So what my partners developed over 13 years of research is a way to restore water to its original crystalline state. So imagine that water is very chaotic, kind of like how light is diffused. But when you do a certain method of focus, you get a very pinpoint laser which can cut through metal, right? So the same way, our method converts water using completely natural methods, no magnets, no electricity, but using just natural forces into a format of water which is original form. So that's the natural crystalline form. And this has a benefit that it interacts with everything around you. So it absorbs energy. So your body is naturally more revitalized and it has a lot of health benefits. In humans, we've done scientific tests. It actually improves calmness. You will see the texture to be a little different. It has, plants and vegetables that we have tested with this water, in labs and universities, hold about 50% more energy, which they measure with light emissions. We've seen that it has the property of even cleansing soil. So there is just limitless applications. Anything where you use water, a more structured and coherent water. So we call it full spectrum coherent water. It has the potential to actually transform a lot of. So we've launched it in India in its portable format. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to spread more awareness of this because it's a relatively new launch. In the middle of the pandemic, we've launched it. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of spread the knowledge about this so more people could potentially benefit.
Awesome. That's very interesting, Madhusudan.
So let me also add something, Madhusudan. I'm a medical doctor, but for last 37 years, me and my husband, we make flower remedies from our Indian flowers. And there the water holds the memory of the flower. And so I understand completely all that you've been talking about water. We call it as Jal Hi Jeevan Hai or Jala Tattva, the five elements. So I totally get it. The flowers have beautiful positive messages that we, take it in the form of water, liquid, and take orally as drops. and that has a deeply transformative capacity for the
Right.
mind, emotions, and the body, as we are not made up of anything separate from some other universe, but that's everything here, all the five elements, and whatever is there in this planet is also there in our own body. We call it as macrocosm and the microcosm. So very, 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 very important information. I think people are not aware about it.
That
And
is actually correct.
what work you are doing is extremely important.
Thank you. It's nice of you to have given me a chance to come.
Yes, and I'm also very fascinated by this because I've never heard that of such an.
Well, that's actually the number one challenge that we have to do. It's more than spreading awareness of the product. We have to explain the concept, because most people take water for granted, right? We think if we put it through an RO machine or through any other filtration, the water is great. Yes, it's clear of toxins and microbial growth and so on, but it doesn't hold energy. I mean, we ultimately consume water not just for the hydration, but for what it does in the system. So, and water's the other good thing is, in our customs we do this chanting and energizing, right? So that holds value only for a certain amount of time, because if you put the vibrations into the water, 5 minutes later you put negative vibrations in the water will change. So the good thing about the technology that our scientists have created is that the water is in a stable form. So once it is taken this coherent state, which is a crystalline state, it doesn't get disturbed. So you can put any stimulus on it. You can hit it with microwave radiation, 3G radiation, 4G radiation. The water will get disturbed temporarily, but the structure will come back, which is what is unique about our product. But this is early days, so I think we have a lot of work to do to educate people.
You're muted.
So I just said that what a wonderful product, that we are going to introduce at the expo. Yeah, and
Yes.
people will get educated about this completely most essential information for the time now.
Yeah. Looking forward.
The basic element of water, but what follows is something very interesting. See you all at the expo.
I think I also feel quite aligned to that. Our vision actually is trying, I think, like my partners said when they created it, when all the water in the world is coherent, our job is done. So that's literally our vision.
So can you tell us, are you based in Mumbai?
I'm based in Mumbai, yes. My partners are in Netherlands, but I'm based in Mumbai.
So are you able to connect if somebody wants to access this treatment?
Absolutely.
Across India or outside?
What we've launched as of now is the portable version, which can be used by anybody at home. It's a tube. There are other prototypes that are currently in testing. We've got obviously delayed because of the shutdown. So that can be used in bottling plants. It can be used in farms. So flowing water we can treat through that. So that device is still in prototyping. But what we have ready is a portable device. So I will be sharing some videos with you later, so which will give you more details about how.
Awesome. So coming back to Purva, 10 days away is World Vegan Day. So Rita is always planning something to doing a lot of work to create awareness during such days. So what is in the pipeline for World Vegan Day?
So it's not just World Vegan Day for us, but it's World Vegan Month, which is the entire month of November. And, there's been some research that says it takes about 21 days, maybe a little bit more for some people, to break a habit. So we say to people that November is the perfect month to start the new habit of eating vegan. And so people who are on PETA India's Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, or on our website, we would be providing resources all throughout the month to make that transition to vegan eating easier. One of the things that we provide is a vegan starter kit, which is for free. and it has all the information for, regarding animals, environment, health, as to why the benefits of eating vegan, and then also recipes and other products and other information as to how they can make that journey easier. Because these days, you don't even have to compromise on taste. Instead of animal milk, you can have soya milk. You can even have a vegan buttermilk. You can have vegan cheeses. You can even have vegan meat. For example, Good Dot has plant-based products that taste and act like mutton or act like chicken in dishes. So we provide those kinds of resources. I've also written a book. It's called For a Moment of Taste.
Wow.
And it is the first expose of what happens to animals in India for meat, eggs, and dairy. The reason why I wrote it and the reason why I'm highlighting it for World Vegan Month is because PETA has a lot of videos on our website. What happens to animals for eggs, what happens to animals for leather, which is also a non-vegan product, and so on. Those videos are short. They're also provide only part of the story. This tells you in great, great detail what animals endure for what is, after all, just a fleeting moment of taste. Because after all, how long does taste last on our tongues? What, a few seconds? For a few seconds, animals from their birth to death are tormented. And exactly what that process is, we owe it to the animals to truly understand. And so this is a great book for anyone who's thinking about eating vegan to pick up. And it's also a great one to share with your non-vegan friends and family members.
Awesome. Wow, Purna.
Mm-hmm.
So great.
And I should say it's India specific. It is what happens to animals in India for meat, eggs, and dairy. It is not, because there's other resources globally, what happens to animals in the United States or whatever, but there hadn't been a book about what happens to animals in India. And so this is that book. It's called For a Moment of Taste.
So how long did you take to, from the beginning to the end, how long did you take to write the book?
Oh, in a way you can say that I've been writing the book for 20 years. In a way you can say that. And the reason why I say that is because I have personally done a number of investigations for PETA, following trucks carrying cows or buffaloes or sheep or goats to slaughter, visiting slaughterhouses and so on. So a lot of this is what I personally saw. A lot of it is what other investigators at PETA documented, or what investigators at other animal protection organizations documented. So while I certainly didn't take 20 years to write the book, you can say that the research has been ongoing for many, many years.
Yes. Awesome. So will this be available at the expo?
Well, it's available from Amazon and Flipkart. I don't know. You can certainly provide those links, but if we can perhaps have it at our stall, I'll have a few copies and we can let people know where they can get it.
Yes, PETA does have a stall, so maybe for a discount for all participants. Anyway.
Very wonderful. Often people think that it doesn't happen here in India. All the videos that are there maybe are some dairy farm somewhere in Australia or New Zealand, but when we show them the PETA dairy video, particularly in our workshops, people don't want to see it after a few seconds. They start closing their eyes like this because they just can't see. So I say, if you can't see even for a few seconds, they have to endure it for their entire lifespan.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And the book, I have to say, it isn't only what PETA has seen. If you look at the references section, it is very extensive. And the reason why I did that is because there shouldn't be anyone left with any kind of doubt like that this doesn't happen in India. It absolutely does. Everything in this book is about what happens in India specifically. And so I didn't want people to come away with, oh, PETA, of course they're a vegan advocacy organization. Of course they would say that. No, there's references to government documents, newspaper articles, scientific papers, all sorts of things that people can check out on their own to judge the merit of this book.
Great. So I think it's really great to have Purva Joshipura and Madhusudan Rajagopalan at the Global Vegan Business Expo. It's very nice to have. I think that both of you all will be highlighting two very important aspects. You know, you would be talking about, I think Purva, PETA would be highlighting the important parts about breaking a habit, right? That's what PETA does.
Yeah, well, breaking a habit would certainly be part of it, but I also would be highlighting in my talk how India can really become the world leader in vegan products. You know, all of the nuts that, you know, or the soya, for example, or the almonds or the peanuts or even coconuts, or, you know, all of these plants that we make milk out of and which have become extremely popular abroad. You know, if I go to the local shop here, I can buy milk made of hazelnut, macadamia nuts, tiger nuts, soya, almond. I have a choice, and that's just the local shop, not a special shop. And so all of these kinds of plants are in absolute abundance in India. People are making leathers out of pineapples, banana leaves, you know, grapes, coconut. You know, all of these products are in absolute abundance in India. We can provide jobs and we can create these products with nothing even comparable as far as the environmental impact as the animal-derived foods and materials.
Yes, very true. And I think, Madhusudan, you would be highlighting the importance of the element of water, right?
That's right. So I'll primarily be showcasing what is coherent water and why is that important for us.
And so few of us really know what coherent water is all about.
I hope that few will become a lot more after the expo.
Awesome. So thank you. Really looking forward to meeting and connecting and learning more about what both of you all have to offer. So with that, I think we come to the end of today's bulletin. Thank you very much, Purva. Madhusudan, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Purva.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Nanda.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.